What's going on, guys? Today's a little different. Once again, we're working on the Buick Regal. It's the 3.8 supercharged V6, and we're going to be pulling the steering rack today, which is all the way in there somewhere. Probably can't even see it. So I did look online, and there weren't very many videos kind of explaining what you needed to do. So
you got the steering wheel locked? Okay, and I'm getting some play left to right with this tire, but probably only because there's so much movement in that shaft. It almost looks like it's missing a seal. This inner tie rod almost looks like it's possibly a little worn out. Maybe has about 10,000 kilometers on it. The rack, it looks to me like the shaft is moving side to side. Alright, I'm out of breath.
So I've put my jack underneath the subframe in the front and loosened, where are we here? There's 4 bolts holding this thing up. 1 in each corner. It's an 18 millimeter. And so far I haven't taken them out all the way. I've just left a few threads in and lowered it, so there's a couple inches there. And at the back here, same thing. So you kind of want to get that all 4 corners. You want to drop that down. There are a couple things attached, like these power steering lines, or what are those, transmission fluid lines maybe? I haven't even followed them, so they were attached to the subframe there, disconnected them. Got it on jack stands on the body here, and spare tires underneath for safety. So what I did next here, there is a bolt going through. Let's get it in there. There's a bolt going through the steering shaft there, which goes into the box. You want to take that bolt out, and then you'll be able to free it with a flathead screwdriver. So we're just about to do that. Once again, get all 4 corners lowered a bit. See a little bit more room to work in there. So you are going to want to get your little scissor jack and support the subframe right there where it kind of bends up and over. Get your jack in there before you fully undo the 4 bolts. And I put my shop jack in the front, and then I took those bolts right out and lowered it. Now there's about 4 inches there of room or more. And you're going to go ahead and disconnect those 2 bolts holding the rack, and your tie rods, pop them out of the steering knuckle. And there is those 2 lines on the box, on the rack there, the steering rack. There's the 2 power steering lines you need to disconnect. So now that that's out of the way, I'm going to see if I can just push this out a little bit. There we go. went just a little bit there. I'll go to the other side and hopefully pull it out. So the two lines are just hiding in behind, those two that are right there. I don't think you've got to disconnect those two. So we need to keep pulling on this thing. Not before I snip the zap strap that's holding that little electrical. So once I lowered it a little bit more here, we got now about 4.5, 5 inches of clearance. It just freed right up. And it's basically out. Just doing this one-handed. That's this little electrical connection. Now that I'm here, I can disconnect that. So I'm going to do that and see you in a second on the bench with it out. So to get this out, you'll need to disconnect both your tie rods. This through bolt here, which went here. The two through bolts that hold the rack. Those two lines. And that electrical connector. You'll need to drop your subframe while having it supported with jacks. But don't get discouraged, it's just 4 bolts. Off. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later. Cheers.